1,000 years of war.
For Honor is a game about violently wading through hordes of enemies and burying axes into people's shoulders. Why? A war or something? This is pretty good gaming. My name is Mike Williams. With me today is Mr. Gareth Evans. For Honor is also a game about accidentally bashing your mates in the back of the head and dying pathetically in a panicked heap as soon as that guy you're fighting is suddenly joined by one of his mates. Let's talk about it. For Honor is out on February the 14th on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, but there's an open beta on all of those platforms just before the game goes live this week, running from February the 9th to the 12th. It includes 4 of the 5 multiplayer modes and 9 of the available 12 heroes to try out, and that's a big chunk of multiplayer all for free there. These are my impressions of the game based on the closed beta which I played on PC, and that is the footage that you're seeing here. And it's nice and lovely and crisp. Look at those graphics, Gareth.
Nice, very nice.
It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. The first thing that struck me about it was the way that Ubisoft, they seem to be doing this with a lot of their games now, where there's kind of a muddy background, browny, whitey, kind of grey background, and then a very vibrant orange and blue in the middle of it.
Right.
They've done it on like Steep and this and The Division. It's kind of a thing that they're doing now. But it's a nice look. It
does look good.
Yeah,
it looks very smooth. Like the gameplay looks smooth.
Yeah, it's a very easy game to settle into, and what I'm doing here is just wading through enemies, which is incredibly satisfying. You can see the animation and stuff there. You know, for the first kind of hour or so of playing the game, I was just obsessed with destroying all these enemies with my giant Viking axe.
These are NPCs though, aren't they?
They are.
They are there just to be killed.
They're minions is what the game actually calls them, and they kind of just, I mean, they fill out the scene, they make it feel more like a battle, and you can just kick them in the chest and they go flying away, and that's awesome. I was playing the game as the Viking Raider, which you can see here, which is like just the best class because it's all about violence, as you'd expect from any good Viking Raider. He's just there to dish out damage and destroy his enemies in as quick and brutal way as possible.
What other classes are there, Mike?
There's loads. Well, there's the 3 factions to start off with. There's the Samurai, the Knights, and the Vikings, and each one of those factions has 4 classes within it. So I was the Raider, and then there's also there's the Samurai kind of Nobushi, which is a little bit overpowered, I'd have to say. So there's each faction has 4 broadly kind of similar classes, and they're just balanced based on kind of speed, defense. Some of them are more tank kind of characters. You can survive a little bit longer.
That was a nice.
It's awesome, right?
Swipe.
Yeah,
you got killed 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's why I love the game. It's just kind of, I love the beta anyway. It's just so meaty and crunchy and satisfying, and that's kind of the point of what I'm trying to get across today. It's quite difficult to get across what is appealing about this game without actually playing it. The combat system, which you're kind of seeing a little bit here, it's very tactical, right? So you've got to decide if you're attacking up, left, or right. Are you going to dodge? Are you going to block in those directions? Are you going to guard break? It's something that needs to be experienced to understand. And it's more of a game of chess than something like Chivalry.
Rock, paper, scissors dynamic, isn't it?
Exactly that, yeah. You've got to wait to see what your opponent is going to do. You can't just go swinging your axe around. And there's this lock-on system as well, so you're focused on your enemy. You're locked onto him. And that's when you're kind of trapped into this kind of combat mode where you've got the 3 icons on the screen. Otherwise, when you're just running around, you can just like click the mouse button and attack, and you're just wading through these enemies in a very satisfying manner.
Sounds to me kind of like this is the single player type of fighting where you just killing minions, and then there's like the multiplayer when you're chasing like you were doing now, trying to chase the it's like single player and multiplayer all in one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about it. It's kind of that MOBA thing, as where the minions are there to just kind of. It's just they're part of the game, but they're not. They're not crucial. They won't decide on who wins and loses. The main mode is Dominion, which is the most like a MOBA. So there's it's like a 3-lane map. So you just choose if you're going to go down the middle, down the right, down the left, and you've got to capture points on each of those lanes. So you can see it clearly right here, can't you? So the minions will just rush down the middle of the map, capture the middle point. So you can either help them out, kick the other minions' asses, or you can go down one of the left or right lanes.
You can't control them or anything.
You can't direct them or control them or anything like that. But they just flood the map on a regular kind of basis. They spawn, periodically. So here I'm in our 2-on-1, which is basically impossible. But that's my biggest problem with the game, is that it just becomes kind of chaotic when there is a 2-on-1. Luckily, my mate came and helped me out, but I still got my ass kicked by this dude. You're
supposed to be killed by 2 people on one, though, aren't you? You're not supposed to win 2 on one.
I guess so, but it just feels like you have no chance.
Well, just run away.
Yeah, which is what I did do quite a lot. Like a real Viking raider, I ran like a little baby. But when it is 1-on-1 like this, it just works. It's so cool. Like, and their kind of troops are just surrounding you in a circle. Sometimes they'll come in and kind of slash you on the back or something, but they don't really do that much damage. They just annoy you more than anything else. But this is where the game really, really works, and it's nothing that can that can be put across in a review or even a video like this. You've got to experience it. It's like the beta is coming up now, and this is your chance. That Ubisoft know that they've got to put this game in people's hands if they're gonna sell it, and this is your chance to do that. I'm not recommending the game here. I'm recommending the beta for it's there for 4 days on all the main platforms. And there's kind of this is your chance to see for yourself, and it's the best way to know if you're gonna like any game, but it's especially true with this game because of that combat system, because of the way it works.
It worked for Battlefield 1. A lot of people took up that game after the open beta, so there's all indications that this game will survive and thrive.
That's right, but that's the thing. That's where it is different though, because Battlefield 1, if you like multiplayer shooters, it's quite easy to recommend Battlefield 1 because it's a great multiplayer shooter. What is this game? It's not Dynasty Warriors. It's not Chivalry. It's not a MOBA. It's not
like a lot of things.
It's just elements of a lot of these different games, and I quite appreciate the fact that if you do like your games like Chivalry and things like that, this might look a little bit simplistic to you, but it really isn't. It's quite deep, and it takes a bit of patience as well. I mean, I was getting my ass kicked for even in the tutorial. I kind of got killed in the tutorial, which is insane. It does take some getting used to, but once you get there, once you get comfortable with it, it is pretty cool. One thing I will say is that with a mouse, this kind of 3-way thing, it doesn't work as well as with an analog stick. It's just much better just flicking it to the left or right, or it just works a lot better. And it's one of the only games I've ever played where a mouse seems kind of inferior to a controller. But it's a brutal game. It's a beautiful looking game, and it like I've said already, it just needs to be experienced. It's one of those games that you've got to get in your hands. So For Honor, it's out next week. The open beta starts on Thursday, February the 9th. It's on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Get on it. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. There's more content on the screen right now if you want to check some of that out. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.